Man, that's a big one right there. So welcome back to the sawmill, friends. So I was going to get the tractor out this morning and do some mowing, and we will do that when I get back. But I got a phone call about 5 minutes ago from my tree service buddy, and guess what? He's got a red oak on the ground, and if I don't go get it, it will get gone. So let's hook up the dump trailer, go across town and grab those. I think there should be 3 total, and the butt cut should be pretty nice. You guys hang in there. Got a lot going on today. All right, guys, end up getting 4 logs instead of 3. I think I said 3 earlier. I can't remember now. Had to make 2 trips also because these oats are big, friends. I think I could have got them on 1 trip, but I've been pushing the weight limit of this dump trailer, and that limit is 8,000 pounds if I remember right. And the butt cut on this tree probably weighs 3,500 to 4,000 just by itself. It was a tight fit as well. My buddy Greg, that's the tree service guy that I work with, we weren't sure if they would both fit in here on the second trip, and it was tight. But man, these are nice. The first 2 logs were low grade. The first one we put in the trailer on the second trip, it was kind of low grade as well, a lot of knots, but the bottom cut or the butt cut of this tree, man, it's nice. And this tree also was dead standing. That really surprised me as well. And it came from somebody's front yard, and luckily there's no signs of metal anywhere on these logs. With oak, if you got some metal in the tree, 90% of the time you'll have a black stain on the end grain, and that will tell you there's metal somewhere in that tree. With these, no metal. So my hat's off to the guy who owned the lot this tree was located at, because after having this tree for all these years, He never put a nail in it. That's rare nowadays, especially in the urban environment that we was in today. We may have a hard time getting these off the trailer. I mentioned how big they are. Now, some of you guys may think I'm weird about stuff like this, but I love the smell of a fresh cut tree, especially oak. It gets me excited because I think about the potential of the lumber that will come out of these logs. Before we get off the trailer, sit down my coffee. Oh yeah, if anybody's interested in what coffee I'm drinking today, I found some new coffee, and this is not sponsored by them. They have no idea I'm talking about them today. Now, this coffee is made by a company called the Montana Coffee Company. Montana Coffee, something like that. It comes from Tennessee, actually, not Montana. My good buddy Robert down in Alabama told me about them about a month ago when I ordered me a few bags, and it is really, really good. So for you guys out there that like coffee as much as I do, I'll leave a link down below. Go check it out. I don't make nothing if you guys go buy the coffee. I'm just trying to help these people out because they make good stuff. And once again, this is not sponsored by the Montana Coffee Company. I know you guys out there like coffee as much as I do, and I'm just trying to let y'all know what I'm drinking this month. All right, so this is right at 9 foot. If you guys trust me here, I'm gonna take a measurement on this large end. I'm not gonna move the camera for that. The large end, and it does swell out quite a bit, 39 inches. Let's check the small end down here. So down here on the small end, 28 inches. Man, that's a nice tree right there. The growth rings aren't really too tight because it did come from an urban environment, so it wasn't fighting for sunlight, so it had plenty of room to grow. But this right here, friends, there's no knots, there's no cat faces. This log right here, friends, will be a perfect candidate for quarter sawing. We'll do that sooner than later. This is a nice one. Since it was dropped today, we're gonna put some anchor seal on it once it's on the ground down here. Man, that's nice. I'd like to have a truckload of these. Love the quarter saw, guys. I love the quarter saw. That's a heavy load, and I'm not exactly flat, so I'm gonna chalk my front tires. I've also got the truck in four-wheel drive, which will help if the rear end comes up just a little. Well, that right there went as planned. Nothing got broke and nobody got hurt. Right now we're warming up to 754 because I need to go to the other property across the road and mow about 2 acres because it's supposed to rain tonight and all day tomorrow. If you guys are wondering why I always show that on camera, it's because I think it's pretty cool. Don't be a hater. So here's a random question for you guys. Has any one of you tried the carnivore diet? Carnivore? I think I'm saying that right, the carnivore diet. Well, if you haven't, I started it today and I'll let you know how it goes. So after experiencing this diet for one day, I just had dinner about 30 minutes ago. I had 2 steaks. I've came to one conclusion so far, and that is I'm starving to death. I'll tell you what, I don't know if I'll make it or not on this diet. They say you can eat all the meat you want to, but I sure like pizza and pasta and breads and all that stuff. Anybody out there try this diet? Hopefully I'm not wasting my time. I'll tell you one thing though, I'm starving to death. Have I mentioned that already? friends, got that mowing finished up. I tell you what, that last hit mower has taken my mowing time down about 75% from what it used to be. Is that right? Is the math right on that? It takes me about 25% of the time. That doesn't make any sense either. I can't do math, guys, look over me. So if it took me 100% of the time to mow, it takes me about 75% less time to mow now. Does that make sense? That doesn't make sense either. I gotta watch where I'm walking up here. The chickens are out. And there's the hatefulest cat on YouTube with me also. Follows me like a dog, but she acts like she hates me all the time. Good evening, Mama, how you doing? There she goes. So anyways, I guess I'm done for the evening. I got plans tonight, so I'll see you guys back here tomorrow, but it will be here a lot faster than you think. You guys hang in there. So good morning, friends. It's the next day, and if you're new to this channel, we're down here on a new property that we bought back in December. It's right across the right-of-way from where I live, and there is a house on it up here on top of the hill. That's where my mother-in-law lives. It has a nice barn, and it's right at 3 acres. And I've been doing some work down here off camera for the past few weeks trying to clean the place up, but I've not really put a dent in it just yet. And today we need to do some bush hogging before we head up to the sawmill. We're going to be using our TYM 5835 tractor, and I got my, what size is that? 6 foot bush hog on the back. It's made by Ironcraft. So out of the 3 acres down here, this acre right here is the most neglected. Years ago, they ran some horses and I think some cows back here, but I think about 10 years ago, they got rid of all the animals and just let it grow up. And I've been fighting it ever since. Now this area right here, I cleared off back in January. There's a creek right there, and it needs bush hogged to keep the vines down and all the saplings and all that stuff. There's also a culvert right here that I haven't replaced yet, but that's going to change this weekend. Saturday morning, we're going to hook up the trailer, go over to Virginia and get a new culvert and bring the excavator down here and get this thing installed so I can access the back of this acre, because right now I cannot cross the creek to access the back of the property because the culvert that's existing has failed. It's crushed right there. If you walk on it, it just cracks and breaks everywhere. I'm afraid to drive a tractor over that and get stuck. So Saturday, that's going to be a big project right there. I've never installed a culvert before, but how hard can it be? All right, so let's warm up the tractor and get to work. It's gonna be a good day today, guys. We'll get this knocked out and then we'll head up to the sawmill. I think we might put some walnut on there today. now you can see that culvert and the terrible shape it's in right there. I also need to come in here sooner than later and use the excavator and kind of work on this bank. It's real steep. I need to grade it where it's kind of a slope. That would look a lot better. And before we get back at it, I just realized the tractor is almost out of diesel. That ain't good. Let's go fill her up. All right, friends, I guess while we're up here, we'll go ahead and put some logs on the sawmill. And I've got something in mind before the walnut that might be interesting, or it might be a total waste of time. Let me show you. So right there is some butternut, friends, and I have no idea how long that's been on the ground. When I got these logs, they were already looking pretty rough, and I found them on the bottom of a pile of oak a few days ago. There's 3 of them. 1, 2, 3. That's cedar on the top. And they all 3 came in here at the same time, so I'm just going to saw into one of them and see if it's solid. If it's solid, there's a good chance the other 2 are. And butternut is a cousin of black walnut, so I think it's going to be rot resistant as well. We might be okay on this, or it might be a waste of time. We'll find out here in just a minute. So after we saw into that butternut, and hopefully don't waste your time with it, I got a really nice 8-foot black walnut right here that we're going to saw for grade. This whole stack right here is walnut, and the one I'm talking about is right there. It's an 8-footer, and look how clear it is, guys. I don't see any knots or defects or nothing. That should be a really nice log. We'll do 4/4 boards on that one and get them as wide as we can. All right, guys, like I said, this is butternut. It's an 8-footer. Had a little bit of taper to this log. The small end is facing me on the operator's side. 14 inches right there. Down here away from you guys, it's 18 inches. Now, I was talking earlier about butternut. A lot of people call this white walnut because it favors butternut. No, let me start again. A lot of people call this white walnut because it favors walnut. That sounds better. But it's a little bit lighter color than walnut. And I was wrong about the rot resistance. I looked up on the wood database a few seconds ago, and the rot resistance for butternut is moderate, whereas walnut, it's really good. If you had a ton of money, if money wasn't the object of nothing, you had just endless amounts of money, and you was wanting a log cabin, if you could build that log cabin out of walnut, it would last forever. Walnut's extremely rot resistant, but because it's so expensive, it would be very hard to build a log cabin out of walnut, although it would be pretty neat. And I'm not against doing a timber frame at one point with walnut. I've thought about that as well. So anyways, we'll talk about that later. This log's been on the ground for a good while. Like I was saying earlier, looks terrible on the outside. All the bark is gone. And I don't know what we're going to get here, friends. There's probably going to be some powder post beetle damage. and maybe some spalting. I've never seen spalting in butternut, but you never know with something like this. It may be a really good find if I make 3 cuts here on my opening faces. It looks horrible and it's rotted in the middle. We'll just throw it off and do this really nice walnut, but we'll give this log a chance because we got nothing to lose, I guess, except for a little bit of fuel. We're gonna be sawing this into 5/4 boards I'm sorry, not 5/4, 4/4, which means 1 1/8 inches on the thickness, if it's a good log. But I don't know, guys, it's hard to tell. On the Sawmill, Joe Maine Silver Tip Turbo 7. If you want to try those blades, call Joe Maine. Cell phone number is in the video description. Why do I say that? People always ask me. They email me and ask me all the time. If you're watching, Joe, let's get a banner that says Joe Maine Silver Tip Turbo 7 blades. We'll hang it over the Sawmill with his phone number. Maybe. I don't know. What do you guys think? Maybe that will cut down on the emails. Now, I am no expert on airplanes, but I see that a lot over my farm here, and I think they're either refueling or practicing refueling, one of the two, because they're flying way too close together to be doing anything else. What do you guys think? Any Air Force guys out there or Navy guys know what's going on there? I think they're refueling, but I could be wrong, and if I am, it's the first time this year. I'd say I'm right though. What do you guys think? And here's something that might make you guys happy. Sooner than later, I think I'm going to invest in a chipper because I'm tired of burning scrap wood all the time. It's getting old and I got a lot of wind at my farm and it's getting kind of dangerous actually. So I'm looking at chippers right now and hopefully I'll have one here in about 3 to 4 weeks if I can find the one I like. All right, guys, check it out. I think we did pretty good right here. I got my cant ready to be sawed into boards. It's about 10 inches wide, and check that out. Got some spalting right there on the corner. Nice and solid. Got some bud damage, a lot of character. There's a lot of stuff going on here, friends. I am really surprised. I thought this would be a waste of time, but it's not too bad, guys, not too bad. Now, since I don't have enough butternut to do a full load on the kiln, I will dry this with walnut. But man, that's nice. I'll probably paint the ends maybe blue or something so they don't get mixed in with the walnut after they come out of the kiln. But check those out, friends. I got some spalting going on, some good color. Really nice boards right here. A lot of character of this stuff right here, guys. A lot of character. All right, guys, got that finished up. We got 7 butternut boards out of that, 10 inches wide. And at 5/4, that comes out to about 58 board feet. So not too bad. And that tells me those other 2 butternuts that are over there in the log pile are probably just as good as this one. So we need to saw those up in the next few days and get them on stickers. Not too bad, not too bad. I'm going to dig in this pile a little and see what I can find, and I'll show you guys what I think is the best board out of all of them. Stand by. All right, guys, we'll throw some water on this one, and I had a hard time picking out my favorite board. All of them were about the same. Mama Cat, what in the world are you doing down there, rolling around in the dirt? You gonna talk to me today or not? Probably not. If you're new to this channel, you're looking at the hatefullest cat on YouTube right there. And today she's the dirtiest. Now you're gonna clean yourself after rolling in the dirt. My goodness. Mama, good thing I like you. I'd have got rid of you years ago. There's 2 things, friends, I hate about summertime, or I guess warm weather in general in Tennessee. Number 1's humidity, and number 2 is motorcycles. I don't mind the Harleys and the Easy Riders and all that stuff, you know, but these little crotch rockets, I can't stand them. They ride up and down my road all day long, racing back and forth. It never ends, all summer long. Drives me crazy hearing that stuff. I know the other neighbors don't like it either. It ain't just me. And it's dangerous. Those guys are going 100 miles an hour down through there. Terrible, terrible stuff right there. So anyways, guys, before I got off on my little tangent right there, I think I'm done for the night. I gotta go eat dinner, and a buddy of mine just called down the road and he needs help working on his tractor. So you gotta help the neighbor out. Can't ignore those guys, because sooner or later, I'll need their help also. So thanks for watching, I really appreciate it. Tomorrow we're gonna work on that walnut. But before I do that, in the morning, I'm going to a tractor show. And I think I'll take you guys with me. So thanks for watching, I really appreciate it. I'll see you back here tomorrow.